What's up? What's up? It's your girl Michelle with the Raindrop Combos and
Stacy, what's going on, guys?
what's up, chick? What we
What's going
talking
on,
about?
girl?
What's up? What are we talking about tonight?
Ooh, tonight we are talking about only you can block your blessings.
All right, now let's get into the
Let's get
conversation.
into it.
What's up? All right, so only you can block your blessings.
Yes.
And when you gave me the topic, as usual, you pop over. I'm like, girl, what are we talking about tonight before we go
Oh
on?
my God.
And so
I'm
when you
always
gave me
thinking
the
about the podcast.
right when you gave me that topic, the first thing that really came to mind is when people think about blessings, the first thing they think about is religion and Christianity and things like that. But I always like to reiterate, yes, I am a Christian, but when it comes to those types of things, blessings, favor, gifts, that's a universal law. So whether you're Christian or whatever you're practicing, however you are moving through life, we're just talking about, what happens when you put out good energy and you expect to receive good energy back. You put out bad energy, then you expect to, get bad energy back. So that's blessings and curses, whether whatever you're practicing. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we stand in our own way a lot of
Mm.
times. And there can be, I was thinking about this, we talk about the topic before we actually talk a little bit. But I think about the things that stand in our way from our blessings. And so I was thinking, okay, what are some of those things? And we talked about it a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Unforgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Unforgiveness is one of those things that if you are harboring unforgiveness, and like we talked about, if you're harboring negative energy,
Mm-hmm.
you can be standing in the way of receiving what God has for you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so when you don't release and let go of, negativity to make room
Mm-hmm.
for positive things and for those blessings that God already has for you are literally blocking your own blessings.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
You know?
Yeah.
When you're unwilling to change.
Mm.
God shows you, or God will, when you ask God and you're following God and you have your trust and belief in that He has in store
Mm.
what's best for you. Your best is yet to come.
Right.
When you believe that, you know, you and He shows you these are the things that I need you to change
Mm-hmm.
about you
Right.
in order for you to get over that threshold
Mm-hmm.
to walk into your destiny.
Mm-hmm.
And when you refuse to do those things, when you're stubborn and you're like, I don't want to do this, it's going to take too much time, it's going to take too much effort.
Right.
Guess who's standing in the way?
Exactly.
Who do you have to blame?
Right.
Because God shows you. He will tell you, your spirit will understand, okay, I've been living in unforgiveness, or I've been living in laziness. I've been,
Procrastination. Yes.
all
So
those
many
things.
spirits, or
All
negative energy. Period. Whatever you want to call it.
correct.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be up for work at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock,
Right.
but you get up at 8 o'clock and you late every day.
Right.
You're blocking progress. You're
Mm-hmm.
blocking promotion
Mm-hmm.
because you're showing that you're not dependable.
Right.
Like, it's just little things
Mm-hmm.
that we don't change. Putting in more effort into our lives,
Mm-hmm. Right.
not being willing to change those things will block what God has in store for you,
Mm-hmm.
because that means you haven't learned the lesson from the level that you're on.
Right.
And until you learn the lessons that you're supposed to learn on the level that you're on, God can't promote you to that next plateau.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. As usual, I totally agree. And using just from my own experience,
Mhm.
there have been times when I was a little lackadaisical about certain jobs. Yeah, I'll get there when I get there.
Mhm.
Young, 25, 26 years old.
Yeah, that's young.
And so when you're doing that, though, even with that, you are already cutting yourself off from what could become. And
And
so
I
the thing
have
is,
done that.
well, yeah.
Yes.
And so it's like, you need not ask why you're not getting ahead and why didn't I get the promotion. Now you're mad. So I'm just going to come in even later tomorrow, forget this job. And so all you're doing is just making things worse.
Mhm.
And I just think that we all have to kind of look at, the part we play
Yes.
in our lack of success and succeeding where we need to go. Now, remember, you're not there to please the boss man. You're not there to please the coworkers. You're not there. That's not what the goal is.
Right.
You don't get promotion from them. Yeah, the boss may
Promotion
actually
comes from the source, and the
Thank you.
source is God. That's where your
Period.
promotion comes.
Yeah.
Those people can't block your
Yeah.
blessings
Please
because
teach
they're
your
not the source
children
of those
that.
blessings.
Please teach your children that. And I think it's a lesson we're always continuing to learn, because even, with my web design business, I mean, I have to stay on top of myself. And there's sometimes when I drop the ball where it's like, okay, don't forget to follow up with this person.
Yeah.
And don't forget to do this. It's a lot on your plate, but it's what you asked for. You cannot complain about how much food you got when you asked God, that you told God you wanted to eat. So that means it might be some things that, man, it's just too much. I can't do this. No, maybe we need to just change. There's some things you can probably take out of your life and your schedule.
You talked about that.
Right. That can actually get you where you want to go. Please teach your children this, because it's going to be critical to their success in the future. They're going to, you can't blame, we can't keep playing the blame game.
That's another thing that blocks your blessing.
Yeah.
Blaming other people
for your shortcomings. I mean, it's okay if it's a shortcoming.
And acknowledge it. Okay, identify it, acknowledge, and accept.
Right.
This is an area where I fall short.
Right.
Now, how do I resolve that issue?
Right.
How do I, pick up in that area, in those areas that I know I have a shortfall?
Right.
Maybe I need to adjust some things in my life. Maybe I need to adjust, I don't know, the time I wake up, or the time it takes me to get dressed, like whatever it's
something. If you've done all that the crisis demands, then what do they say? Then you stand. But if you have not done all that the crisis demands, then you can't expect for somebody to come in and save you.
Correct.
And so, like I say, when I talk like this, man, I'm talking to myself too.
Absolutely. We're talking to each other, ourselves.
There are literally things where I know I need to come up higher, do better, put some things aside, make other things priority. So, I mean, when we have these talks, man, it's us talking to each other.
Yes.
We're coaching one another, and we're being open to hearing and being like, man, you're right. It might be, because I mean, when Stacey and I talk, well, even when it's on personal things, I accept her criticism of me, because I need somebody to put a mirror in front of me to say, Michelle, you might have been a little bit to this, or you might have done, should have done this. All right, so who's chiming in, man? Let us know how you guys feel about this topic. Are you struggling?
Are you struggling with this? Yeah.
I mean, I think we all do.
I think,
man, who does?
Really not to think about it. Yes, what's the comment?
One comment says, this started and took me now. #go be great.
Man, what you talking about? Go be great, dude.
Absolutely.
And Glenn is out there on his hustle,
doing
man.
it. Hard work, right?
Hard work. And got more brands coming. So I'm proud of you, dude. And I know it's not easy, because I know you're managing a family and all of that. And so I think, encouraging people to let them know nobody expects it to be easy. But the first thing starts with, but just be honest and acknowledge your shortcomings and your weaknesses. I have so many weaknesses that I can't count. But guess what? God doesn't always remind me of everything to make me feel bad. He helps me to work on one thing at a time. And so when I get better at this, now guess what? I can move on to the next thing. We'll be working all the way until we're 6 feet under. I promise you, you will never reach perfection. So you
have to know it's not about being perfect. It's not about doing, everything 100% correct. But it does take confidence. You have to be confident in who you are, and you have to know how God sees you. Don't worry about the world. Don't worry about trying to live up to the standards. And I say the faux standards, because that's what they are.
It's so fake.
Oh my God.
It's fake.
Who can live up to the faux standards of the world?
Nobody.
And social media pushes that, and it makes everybody think that this is the pinnacle of success: the money, the houses, the clothes, whatever. And really, it's very simple. It's about, are you happy, or do you have real joy with your everyday life? Because I may not need millions of dollars to be, to have joy in my heart and peace. I may not need that. Why, you may. And if you do, go for it. You
So
know
be it.
what I'm
So
saying?
be it.
But I'm not looking at the world to tell me who I am. And I think that, you know, sometimes again, that can be a blockage to our own blessings.
Yeah.
When you are so busy looking at the world and what the world says you need to be, and who they say you need to be, and how much money, you know, they say you have to have, and what you need to be doing, it's ridiculous.
Mhm.
It's ridiculous. How do you feel about yourself? Like your own self-confidence. And I heard something today. I was watching, I believe, CNN, and they were talking about the whole, you know, Taliban taking over Afghanistan. And one of the reporters was talking about, you know, because I went to bed reading the article, like, okay, Biden's sending, you know, 3,000 more troops
Good.
to kind of, right.
Yeah.
I woke up to the Taliban has completely taken over
It's a whole
Kabul.
different.
It's a whole, like,
Yeah.
they are now, you know, getting the troops out of there. And it's a whole mission to, you know, get them back, you know, here.
Wow.
And they have to secure the perimeter of the airport in order to do that.
Mhm.
And so the guy, and so the young lady, the reporter was like, well, I thought that they were working on it. You know, like I thought that President Biden had not too long ago said there was no, you know, possibility of this happening, or there was little possibility of this happening.
Okay.
And then we wake up today and
Right.
they
And it's
totally
happening.
say, right, it's happening. And he said, you know what? You cannot predict basically how much someone is willing to fight for themselves.
You can't.
If that wasn't
Man,
a word,
that's a quote I need to see on a t-shirt, man.
yes,
You cannot predict that.
you
don't know what kind of fight is in that dog, baby.
You can give somebody all of the tools, as God does, has given us all the tools, but it's your choice on
how you choose to fight.
I'm just saying.
And that's why, I mean, and I
I'm
know,
just saying.
you know, when we talk sometimes, I probably come off as a bit, you know, I don't have a lot of compassion for people that say they can't.
Can't was never allowed in my house.
That's what I'm saying.
That was, my mom would be like, what? Well, I never heard that word before. What does that mean?
Yeah, because I get frustrated with things that I have going on sometimes. But then I got to remember that, man, what I'm gonna do? Lay down and die? You know what I mean? It's like, to me, I want to fight all the way until I'm in my grave, because otherwise, what's the point, man? I see people that have given up, and you know, I've got, you know, family members, I won't mention any names, obviously, but people that you can tell have just kind of given up on life, and it just kind of, you know, is what it is. You know, I'll just, until God call me home. But you are missing your real purpose. There's somebody out there that needs you. There's a talent that God gave you that you have completely just squandered. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. You got to find that talent in your kids, man. Don't let them squander talent, because the world is trying to suck it straight up out of them and make them robots to the system and to the you know, media and all this stuff, man. Come on. Yeah, we all get distracted, but
Lord. I had and I won't get into the details, but I was listening to, I had an event, and one of the state representatives came to speak. She, you know, was so polite and came to speak at the event. Representative Alicia Thomas Morgan. And she made a comment during her speech that has stayed with me, like, for the past, I don't know, 10 years. And she said, you know, each of us have a divine purpose. And this is loosely quoting. Each of us has a divine purpose. And that purpose, your specific purpose, if you don't fulfill it, it won't get done. How do
That's
you?
Scary.
How do you not say, forget what you heard, forget what the naysayers say, forget what whoever said. Right. God says I have a purpose, and I'm going to, if I'm gonna die trying to fulfill it.
No matter, right?
You know what I mean?
Like, even if I come up a little bit short, it doesn't matter. At least I tried. You know.
I'm just saying.
That's kind of scary to think that there are people out there that can be doing things. You know, everybody complains about how bad the world is, but what if the ones that are complaining are the ones that are supposed to be the ones that go in and fill the holes to make it better? That's kind of scary. And I know God's will is going to be done no matter what.
It is.
But like you said, there are going to be people that suffer because other folks didn't walk in their
because they didn't walk in their divine destiny.
Wow. That's kind of crazy.
And that, if that's not motivation, If that doesn't motivate you to close your eyes and say, to hell with these distractions,
Right.
I'm going to walk in my purpose. If I gotta crawl, because there is somebody that needs me.
Mm.
And I read a book, The Alchemist. The Alchemist is one of those books that you're reading it, and I don't like fiction.
Mhm.
Can't stand
Right.
you know what I mean?
Too. I'm not a
I like
fiction person.
realism, you know.
Yeah, because I like for stuff to make sense. It's got to have a, 1 + 1 has to equal 2 at the end of the story.
Yes.
You know,
And so I, had gotten this book because I saw it on Oprah. I saw, Will Smith talking about it, and I was like, let me get this book. Thought it was going to be nonfiction.
Yeah.
Started reading it, was like, this is fiction.
This is a real deal.
However, it was
no,
fiction.
it's fiction, but it was.
But oh my God,
it felt real, didn't it? You told me about it. You was like,
girl,
you gotta read The Alchemist.
I'm just saying. And it brings everything back to, you have to listen to God.
Mm-hmm.
You have to listen to God's purpose. You have to seek God's purpose for your life.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're doing that and you're constantly doing that, you're going to walk, and you don't know who God has for you to, for them in the future or the present, whatever.
Right.
Like, it's because of you that their dreams are going to be realized.
Mm-hmm. Stop it.
What's yes,
the comment,
ma'am.
Baby?
It was 2. Said parents are nurturing, fit, not add. Think on it. In other words, that's why we have so many people afraid to live in their gifts.
Who were that? Who were the
those?
commenters? Glenn.
Yes,
Thank you, Glenn. I'm
so
telling you, man.
Many people, and I mean,
it's a fear.
Yeah.
It's a fear of what people will think. Sometimes your purpose doesn't align with how you were raised. It doesn't align with
what people know of you or think of you.
Even your family might say you're doing something weird. That's crazy. We're not entrepreneurs. We work 40 hours per week to the rest of our life until we die. So you might have to step out in something where people are going to judge you. There's going to be some persecution.
They're not going to understand.
They're not going to understand, but no one is supposed to understand. Every plan and every gift is unique to that person. I saw something today where a lady was talking about how God says he doesn't love us the same. He loves us uniquely because we are unique. He made us. We are individually and wonderfully made. So he loves us uniquely. God. He loves you
the way you
for the way you. That's what I'm saying. He knows, man. You talk about knowing a love language, baby. If anybody know your love language, it's your creator.
G-O-D.
It's your. That's what I'm saying. It's your creator.
The G-O-D.
And if your creator, whoever you consider a creator, is not loving you uniquely, then you might want to go back and research and find out, who you really are, because that's what you're going to need to get through this life. I mean, everything is telling you to do things a certain way, standard.
Right.
You go to school, you get the college degree, you go to work, you work, 50 hours. 40, 50 hours per week. You retire. And then now what are you doing with your life? What did you do in between, all of those steps that the world told you needed to do? I'm asking everybody to step out on faith.
I don't know what I was watching, but it was something having to do with Kobe Bryant. And the announcer or whoever, the narrator was like, Kobe Bryant, like his life, he preached his own funeral with his life. Yeah. And when you think about it, and my uncle, has that, and I've seen my uncle, eulogize so many of our family members. But he talks about that dash. Yeah. You preach your own funeral with the life that you live. You know what I mean? Yeah. How many people, when you walk away from, not walk away, walk away. I got to literally take us away. Ain't nobody like, oh, take me, Lord.
Right.
No.
Right.
But not yet, Lord, not yet.
Right.
But when you leave this world, how many of us can say, or how many of us will have people whose lives we've impacted? Yeah. And we've actually made a difference, and they've actually realized their dreams, right? Because we lived our lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I should go. That should definitely go. And I will definitely say that if you have children, I think that
Yes.
starts in the home.
Yes.
Because you can actually say, I had an impact on my child's life
Yes.
to live out his dreams.
Yes.
There are parents that, and I'm not knocking anybody. I understand everybody's under different circumstances and issues and things they're going through. But imagine a child that's showing artistic talent. Your child is showing musical talent, and you didn't sacrifice in some area to really
nurture
kind of
that.
help explore. And even if it's not what they were supposed to do, that's one thing you notice, and then now you look for the next thing. So if we're not even doing it with our children, how can we expect to go out and do it in the world? You can't do. And this, I'm just saying, this is specifically for the children. I sure appreciate the teachers in our school systems that recognize those types of things and reach out to the
pay
parents.
them more money.
Yeah,
because that's
man,
ridiculous.
come on, because they recognize things in our kids that we don't even recognize. They're like, hey, your child has a gift in that. And you're like, man, I've been so busy. I work 40 hours per week. I didn't even know. And they're saying, hey, well, if you can get her into this program, I think she's really going to excel, or he's going to excel. So I'm just talking to the parents, because I'm a parent. I'm a mom of 3 kids. So I think, if you're going to pour into somebody, start there. Charity begins at home. And for those of you who do not have children, then yes, charity can, now you're even more free to be able to do more for other people. I mean, man, your talents and gifts, please don't waste them and don't squander them. It's gonna, even anything you do can become a headache sometimes and stressful. That's just a part of the game. But think about the alternative. I worked in corporate for years and I hated it. And so once I started, my web design and graphic design business, there were times I deal with, some customers that are a bit difficult to deal with. And I'm like, oh, this sucks. But then as soon as I started to complain, I remember what it was like working 6 hours per week and driving on each and every corner of Atlanta, of the greater Atlanta.
Gratefulness.
Girl, I will take that, baby.
Gratefulness.
I'll deal with
Remember
my
when you
all
prayed
day.
for where you are today or what you have today?
Man.
Remember when you prayed for exactly where you are today.
Girl, I'm telling you.
And you have to be grateful and be like, you know what? Okay, Lord, no matter what comes with this, no matter what I have to deal with, like, I recognize that you have showered me with blessings that I prayed for. And more, and more. Like,
it's always going to be abundant.
Pray for it,
it's going to be abundant, exactly. But don't complain about it, because the thing is,
we need to live in abundance and not lack.
Yeah, but don't think that when He pours it down, that it might seem a bit overwhelming. Remember, the children of Israel was out there in the wilderness, and He would pour down manna too much for them to even contain. So they were starting to get frustrated with it, like, oh my gosh, we need to. God said, don't save it. Use what I give you for the day. And then be prepared. The next day will take care of itself. Don't complain on that day when He pour it down. I mean, I have days when I got like 5 or 6 requests coming in. People want flyers and web design. And I'm like, how can I do all this? Look, cut this. What you had scared. This is unnecessary. Take that out and enjoy what I gave you and do what I gave you to do. I'm being a blessing to the people that He's bringing into my life. So it's not just me, charging a client fee and making money. No, I'm helping people realize their dreams. God is using me to help people realize their entrepreneurial dreams that aren't so tech savvy and all of that. So I got to understand that I want to walk in that.
But let me also say this, because while we're talking about God, showering us with, a lot of work or too much work, whatever, which is a good thing. Yeah. But let's also understand when He blesses us with periods of rest.
Okay.
Because that's important too.
You got to recognize.
You got to be able to recognize.
Can't do everything.
Because you'll feel like during those moments that He's blessing you with rest, like, I'm supposed to be doing more.
Right.
I'm not doing enough. I'm supposed to be doing this. And you're not able to comprehend, like, remember when you was doing all of that? And remember you had said, oh, Lord, if I just had a moment,
stressed out.
If I had a moment, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then He gives it to you and you longing for the days before.
What? You can't win for losing. It's like it's a child. It don't matter if you too much is a blower and not enough is a blower. It's like you can't win for losing.
And that's why you got to learn
maturity.
How to be content.
And that's spiritual maturity, because I've been there before. Because I'm telling you, just before the pandemic, my business slowed down and I was like, oh, this sucks. but my bills were paid. Everything was still being paid, but I'm like,
Praise
where's the
God.
extra? Where's the customers? Where's the clients?
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to rest. I mean, he
Yes.
literally set me down. That was a time when I
Yes.
had to, go and get checkups and everything, make sure I was physically fit and everything. And I'm talking about once that pandemic hit, when I say business blew up,
Hello.
he put me in a position, and that rest period put me in a position.
I mean, your
to
body does the same
it
thing.
needs
Your
that.
body, when your body can no longer take anymore, it will shut down on you. I don't know if you've ever been through that before, but if you've been through where you've been running your body and you just won't, you just too stupid to sit down on your own. I've been there.
I have too.
I've been there. And God is like, this fool ain't gonna sit down, so let me go ahead and sit my
baby down, because she ain't gonna get it. Because we're kids. I mean, in God's eyes, we're still like children. He looks at us the same way we look at our children. Honestly, if you can look at it like that, the same way you treat your child, I don't care how old they get, you still feel like they don't know enough. And they need your guidance. Yes. That same way God treats us. And they make their own decisions. That's what I'm saying. Over and over and over. Yeah. Because he set me down from that corporate job. When I say that, I was not gonna quit. I mean, hello. I was not gonna quit. I told my story. So they were gonna have to. At first, they demoted me, and then they went ahead and was like, "She ain't nah." And everybody else that was in the same train on that same job, they were done too. They got cut too. And so,
but here's why I will never allow a job to define me or to control me again, because I've seen people die on jobs.
Literally.
I've seen people worry themselves so much about not being good enough or not, doing this good enough, or because the manager
trying to please man,
that they've literally died while on a job. And guess what? It took probably about 2-3 weeks for them to fill their job.
And that's what I'm saying.
That showed me everything I need to know.
Right.
No job will ever get my life.
Right.
It's not worth it, because you have to recognize again what the real source is.
Right.
The source is not that job. The source is not a man or in human form. Yeah. Your source is God. And once you are connected to the source, and once you understand, like, regardless of whether this particular piece is still a part of the puzzle, I'm still going to be okay because I'm connected with the source. Yeah. You can live like that. You don't have to be beholden to, what the pressures that, other people put on you in a corporate environment or whatever type of, job. Like, you don't have to worry about it. It's like, okay, I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do and more. Right. Like, I'm probably going to excel because that's just the type of girl I am, However, I know that my best is enough.
Yeah. And not attaching anything spiritual or your worth. You cannot attach your worth to a job, a relationship. No. If you do, you're not going to get the satisfaction. Yeah.
You are destined to fail because your expectations, like, a lot of times we fail or we falter because of our own expectations. Like, we take ourselves through all this crazy rigmarole and, just pressure and just feelings of worthlessness because of our own expectations.
Right.
Like, we have to learn to just go with the flow. Like, I'm learning, stop trying to swim upstream.
Right.
It is what it is.
Wow.
It is what it is, and
how many more joyous and days that we'd have if we really kind of acknowledge that, because people leave work and they had a bad day, the boss said, oh, that wasn't your best work, and now you're carrying that big heavy weight on you at home, and now you're spreading that to the people at home because you have you are striving for, I think, a perfection that really can't be reached. I don't even think it's possible to reach perfection. No one's ever going to be satisfied. Let me tell you something. No matter how much I do for my clients, and I love them to death, for those of y'all that's listening, no matter how much you do, and you guys are also, bosses, and you guys are running your programs. No matter how much you do for somebody, they're always going to want more. They're going to love it, especially when you put your heart and soul into it. They're going to love it. But guess what? They're going to want more and more and more. And so if you put yourself under pressure, instead of just relying on the fact that, okay, this is my talent, they either like it or they don't, I can tweak according to, what they like. But, it is what it is. This is what God, gifted me to be able to do without being able to be stressed and really just going through so much to try to please man.
Yeah.
Man would never be pleased. I can't even please my kids. I don't care how much I do for them. They're never going to be 100% happy with everything I do.
Right.
And so once I got out of that mode of, because when you're a mommy, you love that. But as they get older, man, it's always something. Oh, mama, I want a video game. Mama, I want to, this. I want to do that. And the things that you can't provide, or you decide that is not good for them at the time,
you don't love them.
Right. So that's like your boss. Your boss gonna be like, oh, you can't do it the way I wanted you. You don't love me. No, he want to be loved so he can get the bonuses and the money and all of that stuff. Let's just kind of bring it back, because we're in a capitalistic society. Right. Third world countries, honestly, they don't really deal with this type of stuff. They have jobs, and they work in the village, and they carry straws and veggies from one village. That's their work. But do you think that their worth and value is built into that? And when you're in a capitalist society, everything is about money and what kind of car you drive, what kind of house you live in.
What you look like you got.
Yeah. So
it's not really about
it's a lot more difficult for us. And I think we need more mental health therapy to deal, because I don't think we understand what it's like to be in a capitalist society. It's not easy.
We've grown up here. But I'm to piggyback on what you're saying, like, I'm reading a book, I just started it, called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F. Mm-hmm. And I just started reading, and I've had it for a couple of weeks, and I just started, just was able to sit down and read a couple of pages. Yeah. And I can tell this getting ready to be good. Right. Because it's already like we strive for perfection. We're striving for everything to be positive. Like, why can't we accept that? Yeah, some things are gonna be messed up. Right. And it's our ability to accept that. Yeah. These are just, as I love to quote Pastor T.D. Jakes, the vicissitudes of life. Yeah. These are just the changes of life. This is what life is. So when we can learn, like, okay, it is what it is, and I'm gonna flow through this, and maybe I don't have to be positive right now. Maybe I can be like, a whole lot of expletives, right? And maybe some tears, and then I'm gonna move on. Like. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's okay to do that. Yeah. I don't have to. I'm forcing myself, or we force ourselves to think that we got to be positive, we got to be happy all the time.
Nah, it's not possible. That's not realistic. And I think it's okay to admit, even if you're not admitting it to your friends, it's okay to go to God or whoever your creator is, whatever you believe in, and say, you know what, I don't like this. This sucks. It feels bad. And once I get over it, I'm going to trust that, because I'm telling you, man,
I already know I'm going to get over it.
Gritted teeth. Sometimes you have to go through a lot of stuff with gritted teeth like this. I don't like this.
This does not feel good.
But I'm going to try to maintain because I know what I'm trying to accomplish. Like I said, man, if you wonder why things not coming together, and just, from a business standpoint, I hear a lot of, my customers, and I'm sure, well, I'm not getting any sales on my website, but are you promoting? Are you
putting 110%?
That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So stop asking your question. Stop complaining about what you're not getting if you have not put in what you expect to get out. Forget all these people that's telling you it's so easy to make $1,000, overnight. That's not real. Those are liars. I'm sorry, but there are liars. People lie about what their products will do. People lie about what their job is going to be.
People lie about their relationships.
They lie about their everything.
Children. People lie about a whole lot of stuff.
Stop thinking that everybody is going to just be who they are. They're going through the same thing that all of us are going through, the insecurities and pretending to be something that we're not. So when you run into one of those people, don't get your feelings hurt. Just already know that, okay, that's a possibility. There's going to be somebody that's going to deceive me.
Well.
I don't
right.
pretend well. I don't either. I honestly,
I don't pretend well.
It's
it's not my cup of tea.
Right, but I'm good at motivating people to achieve
being
goals
inspirational
and things like that. That's a gift that
because
God
you
gave
really
me.
want to see that.
I do,
like when you really want to see,
because it makes
other
me
people
feel
succeed.
so good.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And here's the thing: when you want to see other people succeed, and that's who you are at your core. Like, you don't have time to think about, oh my God, this person may, exceed where my own success.
Right.
I don't give a yes. If you do, praise God. That's not why you help other people.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't even, that doesn't even come into your realm of thinking.
Right.
You just know, I want as many people as I can help succeed on my journey through this life.
As possible.
That's what I want to do.
And you know, honestly, that's what motivates me in my business, because
Absolutely.
the thing is, all of the stuff that I'm helping my clients do, you know, building out websites, email marketing, all that stuff, the things that they're not really tech savvy in, I can actually be doing that for myself and like selling a course on how to do these types of things. But it's something about me working directly with people that want something more that keeps me motivated, even though it's times where Michelle, you know, girl, can we meet tomorrow? I don't know how to work my website. And it gets, ooh.
And it's true, because here's the thing. This is my girl, my doll. And she's, you know, anytime we talk, it's always about, it's motivating one another. If I say something, this one is on top of it. Girl, have you thought about this? What can you do this? So I'm in the process of building a new business, because she stays on me.
Exactly.
Listen, where this at? And it's coming soon. So, you know, we'll talk about it. I'm pretty sure we'll, you know, be a sponsor of the show. Definitely. However, you know, she's being honest. Like, that's what she does. If I say it, she done already seen the logistics. I'm a visionary, so I can see the idea. But this one is like,
I got her website. I got her website built in my head already. I'm just waiting for her to finish up her part.
And I'm working on it nearly every day.
Yeah. And she's gonna get done. And it's accountability. Absolutely. Yeah, and it's all about, you know, if you have a dream, you know, push yourself, but not too far. You got to know, you know, when to just kind of step back, because sometimes things get overwhelming.
But be around people who help motivate.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
if they're not
so what's going on with that idea? What's going on with this? Have you done this? Have you done that? Those are the type of people that you need to be around.
Yeah.
Those are
and they're telling you by next week you need to have that done.
Yeah.
Those are the people that you need in your life. Anybody else, I mean, what's the point? That's what I'm saying. Because once you make it, watch where all these people that were never there for you in the beginning.
I have enough cousins, don't need no more. Got enough family.
People coming out the woodworks. So again, this is back to only you can block your blessings. Everything is all about you. Stop blaming. It's not about nobody else. It's not about the white man. It's not about white supremacy. It's not about the ghetto hood folks in your neighborhood. It's not about the fact that I grew up in a low income neighborhood. We grew up on welfare. None of those things matter. Not in America. I'm telling you, you want to try to fight your way out of something, go to a third world country and start off in some village and see how hard you'd have to fight. You're in America where anything is possible. I don't care what nobody think about you. The opportunities are absolutely.
It's about what you think about yourself.
That's what it all comes down to. So don't block your blessings. Stop blaming. Nobody else is blocking your blessings but you.
Move. And who cares what other people think? Who cares if you? I was just seeing where the young lady that Tyler Perry, she created this, you know, huge billboard somewhere here in Atlanta. And it's like, I'm your next starring actress or leading actress or whatever. And everybody was ragging on her. Like, girl, that was just so, you know, even Tyler Perry was like, that's not the way to get my attention. Okay. I just saw an article saying that she is actually going to be starring in his next film.
Okay, thank you. So I don't care what what nobody says. Do it. Do it afraid. I don't care.
That's our next t-shirt. Do it afraid.
Because who cares? I mean,
even Tyler Perry said that's not the way. But what did it do?
That's what I'm saying. Because for all the naysayers, I wonder how many people was like, girl, I can't believe you did that. You rock. You bold. And not to mention, baby, did she have the talent to back it up?
Hello.
When you know you, baby,
when you know you the
go on front stage. It doesn't matter what nobody got to say. You better go do that thing.
Somebody else.
I love that. I love that.
Let me tell you.
I love that.
And I'm not saying do it, but do it.
Do however you being led. Be bold. Be bold. What you got to lose?
The righteous are as bold as a lion.
Thank you. What you got to lose?
Period.
People gonna talk about you anyway.
Right. Give them something to talk about. As my godmother always say, give them something to talk about.
Oh, I love that.
I love it. So on that note, I think that it's been a wonderful evening.
Yes.
I hope that, you know, we're walking into this week, you know, just being open to the blessings that God has for us, not standing in our own way, being confident and understanding that we have to do some things to get to where we need to be and to get to where God needs us to be. And when he tells us those things, move in it. Don't wait. Don't get stagnant. Understand that there's a purpose in everything that God is putting and laying in your spirit, and you need to walk in that with boldness next week.
I love it. Well, thank you guys for joining us. And if you're catching the replay, please comment #replay. Yes. Have any topics you want us to cover, or if you want to be on the show, man, email us at info@raindropconvos.com. And as usual, shout out to our
Rep Your City. I have on the Therapy Works shirt today.
Read that again. Therapy Works. Nothing wrong with getting you some therapy. So go to repyourcity.com and check out some of the t-shirts that are on the site. I think you'll like that, man. And on that note, this has been a good one.
Thank y'all for listening. We love you guys.
Love you, Facebook and YouTube family.
Yes. Peace out.
Peace.